Hello, and welcome to the Teacher Leader Pathway 2021 Talent Pool Information Session. This session is intended for anyone interested in applying for the Teacher Leader Talent Pool. Today, we will familiarize you with the goals and priorities of the Teacher Leader Pathway, review our application, selection, and hiring process, and introduce new ways to qualify for the program through micro-credentialing. My name is Amy Sullivan, and I lead the Teacher Leader Pathway for CMS. Today on the call, you will also hear from both program specialists, Bashay Ferris and Kelly McKinnon, as well as our colleague, Aaron Shoemaker, who is the Director of Digital Innovation and Personalized Learning. This year, our work is centered around 4 key priorities. Priority 1 is to provide every student with greater access to excellent teaching. Priority 2 is to provide strategies and guidance to support all Teacher Leader Pathway schools and bring innovative learning opportunities to increase student achievement. Priority 3 is to create opportunity for excellent teachers such as yourself to expand your reach and positively impact students. And priority 4 is to work collaboratively to provide job-embedded adult learning and coaching to grow teachers and move all teachers to excellence. The changes we've made to the Teacher Leader Talent Pool will focus around priority 3 and 4. In an effort to recruit and attract the top external and internal talent to the Teacher Leader Pathway, our application window has been moved forward 2 months. The strongest teachers are often the ones who are looking for positions earlier than most, so we're aligning our talent pool window with national best practices. Candidates can begin applying to the pool on Monday, December 21st, and the pool will officially close on Tuesday, June 1st. You may be aware that as part of the CMS modernization project, Human Resources will soon be moving to a new applicant tracking system. The timeline of this move is dependent on many factors, but tentatively scheduled for early spring. Regardless of the move to the new system, the TLP talent pool requisition will remain open in our current system, Higher Enterprise. And even once the new system opens, you will still have an external link to access your TLP application through June. Please note that when the new application opens for CMS, candidates who have successfully been admitted to the talent pool will have to create a new application to apply to specific teacher leader openings. The Teacher Leader Pathway has recently made adjustments to our rigorous selection process. In an effort for continuous improvement, our process will now have provisions in place for teachers who may not have had testing data to support their student achievement. This new process will allow us to maintain equity among our pool of candidates while also holding high standards for admittance into the TLP talent pool.
As Ms. Sullivan mentioned, while similar to previous years, this year's application process has been amended to take into consideration the effects that COVID-19 has had on instruction. There are 5 categories that the Talent Pool Screening Committee considers when reviewing an advanced role applicant. These categories are years of experience, licensure, summative evaluations, growth data, leadership ability, and if necessary, a supplemental principal recommendation. Each acts as a qualifier to the next, allowing the Talent Pool Screening Committee to reach a final role determination that factors each category into their decision. This application cycle will incorporate some new features as well. Candidates for a teacher leader position who teach in a non-tested subject area can now qualify for EIT1 and EIT2 roles by completing microcredentials, which will be explained in depth during the next section of this presentation by Aaron Shoemaker. For teachers with 2 to 3 years of experience, submitting a combination of student data and/or earning micro-credentials to qualify for TLP roles is permitted. Finally, due to the challenges caused by COVID-19, teachers with 4 or more years of experience will have the opportunity to submit student data from the last 4 years rather than the previously accepted 3-year window, since end-of-year testing did not take place during the 2019-2020 school year. Another change during this application cycle will be the introduction of a micro-credential, which could replace the current virtual interview questions for the expanded Impact 3, MCL1, and MCL2 candidates. Applicants may be considered for an expanded Impact Teacher 1 position if they have completed 1 full year of teaching, meaning they may apply during their second year. Applicants considered for expanded Impact 2 and 3 positions must have completed 3 years of experience and may apply during their third year, while multi-classroom leaders must have at least 4 years of experience. To qualify as an EIT1, a minimum of 100% proficient or better must be obtained on standards 1 and 4 on the last 2 summative evaluations, while those with 50% accomplished or better on standards 1 and 4 in the last 2 summative evaluations may be considered for an EIT2 position. Candidates with a rating of 75% or better on the last 2 evaluations may be considered for an EIT3 position. And finally, applicants with 100% accomplished on standards 1 and 4 in their last 2 summative evaluations may be considered for an MCL1 or 2 position. Since many educators did not receive summative evaluations during the 2019-2020 school year, the 2 most recent evaluations that they have received will be considered during this cycle. A combination of experience, content area, and evaluation ratings will be used to determine if a candidate is able to utilize the micro-credential option. The student data category has been similarly amended, with expanded Impact Teacher 1 and 2 candidates required to have demonstrated 1 year of high student impact over the last 4 years, or complete 3 micro-credentials which may be substituted for 1 year of data, if they qualify. An expanded Impact Teacher 3 as well as multi-classroom leader candidates are required to have demonstrated high student impact during 2 of the last 4 years, or submit 1 year of high student impact and complete the 3 micro-credentials if they qualify. High student impact is defined as a 0.5 or greater EVAS growth score in 3 through 8 ELA, English 3, or English 4, or a 1.5 or greater EVAS growth in all other tested areas. Finally, applicants which are determined to have qualified for EIT3, MCL1, or MCL2 positions will participate in a virtual interview to assess leadership ability, as well as complete a special coaching micro-credential to illustrate their ability to others.
As Bechet mentioned, micro-credentials might be part of your eligibility process. So we're going to take a closer look at what are micro-credentials. On your screen is the definition of a micro-credential. But what is important here is to note that micro-credentials are really a system to assess if you have mastered certain skills that have been identified by the TLP team to support with entry into the talent pool. So what are micro-credentials? Micro-credentials, we're going to start with what they are not. What they are not is like a college course. It's not seat time or like a PD workshop where you have to be there for a certain amount of time. It's also not a test that's measured by passing an exam at the end. But what they are is really a competency-based system where you're showing your mastery towards a skill, like earning a driver's license, where you practice, you have support, and then you can show your demonstration of mastery. Or like a pole vault, where the bar is already set high for you. You can see the rubric of where you need to get to engage in some learning and some practice, and then you train to clear that bar. So let's take a closer look. All micro-credentials will be bite-sized, really skill-based and targeted around a specific skill that we would see in your classroom. And it's all aligned with our state and district goals and priorities. Micro-credentials are personalized and flexible. You're going to have choice in how and when you engage within your micro-credential, about how much time it's going to take you to complete your micro-credential, and your pathway to demonstrate your learning. The micro-credential is performance-based, so it will rely on application of your learning around that skill to your classroom practice and being able to show that within the micro-credential. And attached to that is a detailed rubric so that you would know exactly what you're looking for to be able to show demonstration of that skill. And then all of micro-credentials will be supported through coaching and through support of our TLP team. So the teacher leader pathway has set forth some micro-credentials that will show, or skills that will show up for master teachers that are applying for the talent pool. So if you look at this across the bottom, you will see the teacher leader pathway roles, EIT 1 and 2, EIT 3, and MCL 1 and 2. And where it's shaded in blue, when you look up, those would be the micro-credentials that you would earn for that area. So for an EIT 1 and 2, you would be earning micro-credentials within core actions, instructional practices, and relationships. And then you can look across to see the micro-credentials for an EIT 3 and for MCL 1 and 2. All of our micro-credentials are based around and are aligned with the CMS core actions of a teacher. And we know that core actions prioritize what's observable and expected in our standards aligned classroom instruction here in CMS. So really, the idea of micro-credentials in the teacher leader pathway support each other. So the micro-credential allows us a better way to verify and for you to show off your skills of what makes you a great teacher and qualified for advanced teaching roles outside of just an interview format, and the opportunity to show your skills without the use of data, particularly if you are teaching outside of a tested subject area. And it also allows for really great transparency to see what skills you need to be able to demonstrate in order to be eligible for a teacher leader pathway role. And then the teacher leader pathway allows for an incentive and for you to engage in this professional growth through micro-credentialing and then be able to earn the incentive of becoming a teacher leader pathway position. There's job embedded learning opportunities and supports. And micro-credentials are built for proven and clearly defined advancement within your role. So you know what's coming next and what you can work on next.
So, what does this all mean for you? If you are an aspiring teacher leader, you can apply earlier than ever, and we encourage you to apply as soon as possible because the talent pool will close on June 1st. Teachers in non-tested subject areas can now qualify for TLP roles through micro-credentialing. Teachers who have not qualified for certain roles in the past may now be able to qualify with micro-credentials or the extended student data window. Then each micro-credential can take between 2 to 4 weeks to complete, depending on your current mastery. And again, as Erin mentioned, there's support for that. So if you don't reach it on the first try, you can try again within the talent pool window. Finally, TLP talent pool adjustments have been made for the 2021 talent pool due to COVID-19. As always, the teacher leader team is here to help. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out at teacherleader@cms.k12.nc.us. Thank you so much, and we hope to see you in the talent pool.